Welcome back to the unofficial series of watching me remake this turtle. So, after part 1, I tried to touch up the model a little bit and fix up some of the topology. I also experimented with making the turtle's fingers closer to claws like actual turtles, because they don't really have fingers, they have little nub things and then they have longer claws. But in the end, I was having a hard time with it, and I just decided to keep them as fingers. It's a cartoony character, it's alright. The turtle shell, however, irritated me a lot, because I was really struggling to make it round at the top and the bottom. You'd think it would be an easy thing to do, but for some reason it just really wasn't working. I tried to sculpt it, remodel the mesh using the sculpt as a base, but no, it just wouldn't listen. So, instead of trying to round out the shape, I chose to lean into it and give it these 3 points at the top. Ended up looking more like a shield for a shell, but that's okay. I think it's cool. We're alright. Now that the modeling's done, I started positioning my placement bones. I like to use the Rigify add-on to get as much of the rigging done as possible, because it's got a really good system and it works really well for making arms, legs, and torsos. It does that without any problem. However, my main issue with Rigify is with its face presets. Now, Rigify has a set of rig samples that you can use, and while most of these samples are wonderful, I found that its face-oriented samples are more difficult to work with. The eye presets are great, and I'm ever so thankful for them, but the skin stretch chain preset just doesn't work for me. I want it to though, because it's an amazing sample and it gets all your constraints done, but my problem with it is the way it uses the stretch to constraint. This causes me problems because the mesh pulls tight when you stretch it and it compresses and widens when you push it in. Ordinarily this would be great, but when you're working on the face it ends up pinching and bulging the lips and face in certain ways. It just doesn't look good. In order to fix this, I have to dive into the ORG bone layer and individually set the straight to constraints to no scale in order to fix this. Now, I've ended up using this on one of my other rigs, but I just didn't want to deal with this anymore. It's just annoying. It's very annoying to deal with. So, I have decided to make my own custom face rig for now. Now, for those of you who don't know, Pierre Picaut, and forgive me if I said that wrong, created this amazing rigging course where he teaches you all the fundamentals of rigging in Blender. It's a course that covers beginning to advanced rigging techniques, and this course actually came to my aid in my time of need. A couple years ago, I bought one of his rigging courses. He actually made a new one that's updated. You can check it out in the description. And I went and took a look at how he rigs faces. I didn't make too much progress as far as rigging, but I did put down most of my primary bones, and now I just have to work on the face. Rigging is, in my opinion, one of the most time-consuming parts of character creation. You can spend a lot of time on an idea that simply won't end up working in the end, and that can be very discouraging. But learning what not to do is just as valuable as knowing what to do. So if you're ever making something and the whole idea ends up not working whatsoever, keep at it. You've learned what not to do, and that is just as valuable as knowing what to do. Anyway, that's the progress I made so far, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Later!